welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to cover the solution to this coding question, do some live coding work, and at the same time I'm going to follow the general steps you should follow in a coding interview. So before we start the coding question, I would really appreciate that if you can help subscribe to this channel. So let's get started. So while parentheses, given the string s containing just the characters open, closing, open, closing, open, closing, different kinds of brackets, determine if the input string is valid. So an input string is valid if open bracket must be closed by the same type of the brackets. Open brackets must be closed in the correct order. So for example 3, it is going to be false because it's closed by different types of the closing parentheses, and example 4 as equal to is also returning false, so on and so forth. So the constraint says the length of the input string is anywhere between 1 to 10k, and as consists the parentheses only. So having said that, not too much of the room for us to think about edge case. Let's see how to solve this problem. So this is a pretty obvious stack problem. What we could do is we could use stack. So when we encounter a closing bracket, we just see if the top element within the stack can be like a matching open parentheses or open bracket, something like that. If not, then we are going to return false. So so something like that. And at the end, we need to see whether the stack is empty. So if not empty, it means there is some open bracket that doesn't have like a matching closing bracket. So having said that, the runtime is going to be all of n is the length of the string, and space wise it's also going to be all of n. So let's get started and do some coding work. So we are going to have the stack is going to store the characters. Let's call it stack. We are going through each of the character. So car C is to car array, and if s is equal to if C is equal to a open bracket equal to or C is equal to this one, then we are just going to stack dot add the corresponding character, and then we are just going to continue. Otherwise, it means it is a closing bracket. So if C is equal to a closing bracket, then we are going to say if the stack is empty, or the stack dot peak is not equal to a open the same type of the open bracket, then we are just going to return false. Otherwise, we are just going to stack dot pop the stuff, and then we are just going to continue. So if C is equal to this kind of the closing bracket, similarly we are just going to do the same. So it seems like that we have some code which we can potentially make use of, like a reuse. Maybe you extract the helper function, but for simplicity I would just do something like this, return false, otherwise we are going to return, and then finally we are just going to return stack dot empty. So that's pretty much it about this piece of code. Let's do some testing using this platform. Seems like things are okay. Let's do a submission. Alright, so it seems like everything works well, and that's pretty much it about this solution. So potentially we could actually define a helper function for this piece of code. Like we can extract the logic to make the code to be a bit better. So let's say is matching closing bracket. So that is because in a coding interview, the coding style is also part of the interview. So let's say we have character stack, and also we are going to see car C. So we are going to say bracket. So I would say if stack dot empty or stack dot peak is not equal to bracket, then we are just going to return false. Otherwise, we are just going to pop the stack and then return true. So something like that. So here what we are going to do is we are going to say is matching closing bracket for stack as equal. This one I would pass the I would just pass this one. So it's something like if this one is false, then we are just going to return false. Otherwise, we are just going to continue. So in this way, we can just potentially save some lines of the code. And actually, we could do even better than that. So for example, we just define a map. Key is open bracket, value is a closing bracket, so something like that. So it depends on it really depends on how much time we have, but I would say we want to make this as to be more beautiful, to be more readable. Try to reuse some piece of the code. So I think that's pretty much it about this coding question. If you have any question regarding the solution, regarding whatever things, feel free to leave some comments below. So if you like this video, please help subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.